Okay, welcome back to Chat 20 by DMIY. We're back in our natural habitat. This is Tom and this is Lawrence, and together we make a couple of dudes.
Couple of dudes who sit down on the couch, drink some beers, and talk about TTRPGs.
Yeah.
Which is what we're going to do today because we did something pretty cool on Sunday night.
We did. We had Call of Cthulhu, and it was led by gamekeeper Gary, who's absolutely incredible. Huge shout out to you. Also, a huge shout out to Alex and Chris and you, Tom, and I suppose by extension.
And to yourself, yeah.
I wasn't going to say it.
I mean, you can't shout out three of the players and not yourself. No, it was a great time. Obviously, there'll be a bit of footage, some highlights that you guys, hopefully there'll be some highlights that these guys get to watch.
So we want to tell you about something funny just that kind of happened to us, and I should have been more concerned about my computer's lack of ability to be a computer.
Fails at its core function.
It fails miserably at its core function. It's dying. My computer's pretty much permanently on life support or a charger, effectively. Otherwise, it just drops dead. And I was really nervous it was going to cark at mid-session. We got up to about 3 hours. I was like, you know what? We're doing well. So I let myself have a moment of just
overconfidence.
I let my guard down, and then it's like, oh yeah, we stopped recording. File corrupted.
Yeah.
Lost 3 hours worth of stuff. We had like bits and pieces on this camera and some bits of audio here, there, and everywhere. So we're going to have like a little bit of a highlight reel of gameplay, effectively. And we're going to discuss our post-game thoughts on it today. So that's the funny thing that happened to us. Was we had about 3 hours of footage, and then it went belly up.
Look, teething problems, right? It was our first time trying to do an actual play, where we play a game and record it and stream it out or whatever. Naturally, there's going to be, technical issues, but we aim to get better at it. But, we're going to talk through what our thoughts and whatnot right now. So you guys will get a bit of a vibe about how it went, and hopefully, we'll either convince you to give it a try or convince you to steer clear of it completely.
Absolutely. Which side are you leaning on to begin with?
Look, my personal thoughts, awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'd recommend anyone that is a fan of TTRPGs, give it a go. The system itself is completely different to Dungeons & Dragons. Obviously, Dungeons & Dragons is a power fantasy D20 system. Call of Cthulhu is more of a gritty survival realism D100 percentage-based system. Completely different. But I think the system itself lends itself to like the theme. Like if I had to say, if I had to give it a personal rating, probably out of 10, 10. I'm actually learning how to run Call of Cthulhu because of how much I enjoyed it. So that's my thoughts on it anyway. What about you?
I love it. I think Call of Cthulhu is like a survival investigatory game style which offers a lot for role playing, but I find it to be more simplistic in nature than D&D is. Only because like D&D, you've got all these spells you can do, like all these powers, class abilities, racial feats, and like when you boil it down, D&D can be quite complex in comparison. I find Call of Cthulhu is quite simple. It's more set in closer. I'm not going to say modern times because it's not. It's closer to modern times. And you're just a person for the most part. You're just average guy.
Average Joe. Yeah, thrown into a situation where you have to, do something out of your comfort zone.
And like I run Alien RPG, like I've mentioned it before on the podcast. It's no shock to anyone. It's similar to that in which it's not designed for you to get into combat and succeed necessarily. You can succeed. Our gamekeeper was very kind to us on our Sunday game, I think.
He was, yeah. But I think, like rewarding creativity. But I was going to actually compare it very much to Alien RPG in that you're not a hero. You're not overpowered. You don't have a million abilities. combat is always deadly.
Yeah, exactly.
And like a last resort kind of thing.
It's never something. D&D sort of promotes this idea that you want to come out as a hero. You got this epic fight, but usually you come out on top, and it's very forgiving if you run out of health, and like you got all these death saves, and you got all these ways to come back from the dead. So it's very forgiving as a game for combat. Whereas things like Call of Cthulhu or Alien RPG, it is very unforgiving. You really want to be avoiding combat where you can, and only getting into it as a last-ditch thing, as you said. Like and I like the sort of grittiness to it. You can't just breeze through things. You can't just use combat as a solution all the time.
Correct. I think it promotes creativity. It definitely promotes roleplay, and it definitely promotes outside of the box thinking. Because unlike D&D, where you can just brute force it and say, "Oh, okay, well, let's just run in there and hack and slash at everything," and if someone goes down, I'll heal you. It's a completely different system. It definitely dissuades or discourages you from just throwing yourself at the enemies, and it actually promotes creative thinking.
Yeah. I think the other question I would have too is if you've only ever played Dungeons and Dragons, that's the only TTRPG you've ever played, for regardless of how long for, do you think it's very easy to transition from that to Call of Cthulhu, or do you think that's a challenging transition?
Look, of all the systems, and we've spoken about how many TTRPG systems there are out there, Call of Cthulhu at its core is quite simplistic. I think if you've only ever played D&D, you're coming into Call of Cthulhu, you might be concerned. I don't think it's that hard to pick up.
No.
At its core, it's the same thing as TTRPGs are. The GM, or in this case, the keeper, describes a scene. You say what you want to do. You make a roll. The only difference is you roll different dice. And you have to kind of adjust your thinking a little bit. But in terms of the system itself, there's not much in the way of like complexity in rules.
No.
It's very kind of even combat in Call of Cthulhu is very kind of free flowing. There's no real. You don't roll for initiative. It's just based on your dex, and then on your turn, you really can only do one thing. You can either attack or you can run away. You don't have to worry about actions, bonus actions, reactions, abilities, none of that. So I think in terms of ease of use and picking it up, I think 100%. It's pretty easy to just transition straight from D&D.
Yeah. I think the only thing that would need to probably happen, the simplistic nature of it is very much a bonus. Sorry, guys, but I was trying to stifle a sneeze. it was approaching me. I think in regards to like the simplistic nature of it, it's very easy to transition. I think the only thing that would need probably prior context is those who prefer combat over roleplay, because there are some players that do. I think that might be a bit of a learning curve when they get in there, especially if they haven't been given prior context, because they may think, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to go confront that that monstrosity that's there because I want to be gung ho and I want to take it down." And I think that's the only thing, is that if you're predisposed to combat and that's what you like about TTRPGs, which no judgment on your part, everyone likes things for different reasons, that might be the more challenging nature. It's similar with Alien role-playing game in that sense. It's hard not to compare it because there are similarities to each other.
There's a lot of similarities. Obviously, they use different systems, but the core of the game is the same in that you're not an overpowered superhero. You're just a guy.
Just an average guy.
You're an average guy thrown into a situation where you're out of your depth and you just have to figure it out.
I had a player that was once that was Like how I try and do it with the Alien role-playing game, because obviously it's designed to be that sort of survivalistic, and especially with the cinematic one-shots, they're kind of designed to kill as many of the players as possible. It is very brutal in that aspect. I try and give my players either an NPC that they can play as, or in some cases too, I'll let them actually be take the role of an enemy. So of like the titular beast or whatever it may be. But I had one player that was just they were a little bit shell shocked that their character died so soon, and I think that type of player too. They're also like the combat. They like, but they like the D&D style combat.
Yeah.
So I think he really struggled with, why couldn't I do this, or why couldn't I save against this, or why? And it's, well, because that's not how it works in this.
Correct.
I think in Call of Cthulhu's sense, that same type of player might have had the similar complaint.
Yeah, 100% correct. So that and I was thinking this too. My only feedback, really, on the system is, if you are a player that thrives on combat, you're not going to get a lot out of it.
No,
because combat, for the most part, is you want to avoid it. I mean, the rule book. I was reading through the rule book of Call of Cthulhu, and when it gets to the combat page, the first line is like, combat is something that you want to avoid.
yes,
Like, plain and simple. So if you are a very combat oriented, run up, swing, shoot kind of player, you're gonna
have a bad time.
There is combat and there is sections that might appeal to you, but for the most part, you're probably not going to enjoy the system. So that's probably the one caveat. We talk about the 3 pillars of TTRPGs: combat, exploration, roleplay. D&D is like a 33% split. This is more of a 45% exploration, 45% roleplay, 10% combat.
Yeah,
If that. So that would be the only caveat, is if you're purely in it just to swing at stuff and roll attacks, this isn't the system for you.
and the other question would be, so I talked about transitioning from like an experienced D&D player to being a Call of Cthulhu. If you've never picked up a TTRPG before and you're jumping into Call of Cthulhu, how easy is it for completely inexperienced players to adopt? I think personally, I'm going to start this one actually.
Go for gold, yeah.
As selfish as this is.
No, I give me time to formulate my thoughts, yeah.
I think in some ways it's easier because there's no expectation. I think when you're playing D&D all the time, there's and like going back to talking about that player that's just about combat. They had an expectation, and it wasn't met when Call of Cthulhu or Alien was provided. Whereas if you're completely new entering into it, you're more open-minded to what it's about because you haven't got a preconception of what it is. So I think in that regard, it's really good. I think just like D&D, once you start playing it, you pick it up really quick. But I personally think Call of Cthulhu and things like Alien RPG is more new player friendly than D&D is, and that's saying something because D&D takes a little while because of all the spells and how they work, action, bonus action, reaction. Why can rogues do stuff in their bonus actions when others can't? Why can sorcerers do this? It's more complicated. Whereas I think things like Call of Cthulhu, they may seem complex at first, but when you start playing it, it takes you a lot less time to pick up than the others. Yeah,
you've said my thoughts exactly. I would say on a scale of really hard and very easy for new players, Call of Cthulhu is like a 2 out of 10, and D&D is probably like a 6 or 7. I think about the sessions that we do at Citizen Cambridge. We get new players there that have never played D&D before, and as soon as you get into combat, it's like, all right, what do I do? Well, here you can do heaps of stuff. What does your sheet say? Oh, bonus action, reaction. Oh, they moved away, so they can make an opportunity. Call Call of Cthulhu is very simple. It's your sheet. All right, it's got numbers on it. You have to roll below that. You succeed, you don't succeed. You don't have bonus actions. You don't have abilities. You don't have spells. You don't have magica points. Spell slots, whatever you want to call them. I think it's far easier.
Yeah.
I think about when I first came into D&D, and you just pick it up as you play. But it took me probably a good almost a whole campaign to really know the ins and outs of a character. And so, you think about the dice as well. D&D, it regularly uses all 7 dice, whereas Alien RPG, as you said, D6s only. You don't have to worry about which die is which one's a D8 again, which one's the D10, and it's same with Call of Cthulhu. Really, it's the D100. There you go. Take those 2. That's it. And maybe I might ask you to roll a D6. Far simpler. I would actually say that if you're a new player that's never played TTRPGs before, do Call of Cthulhu first, because looking back at it, I kind of wish I had. To be honest, I love D&D, but chalk and cheese to the couple of times I've played Call of Cthulhu, I've had so much fun because the system isn't overbearing, and that allows more time and more kind of brain power to role play and actually have fun.
Yeah. I also think too that it takes away in my personal opinion, is one of the downsides to Dungeons and Dragons, and that it takes away the over-forgiving nature of combat. I feel like with D&D, it's all too easy to just do something silly and then get away with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then with Call of Cthulhu, I don't feel like I'm getting that sort of cheesing through everything.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm actually just trying to survive in it. I'm trying to focus on mostly the role-playing element. And I feel like I can actually go, well, my character's actually going to be shit scared of this. Whereas in D&D, it's my character's going to be the one that kills this.
Correct. 100%. Think about the game we played. Gary ran us through one of the most, one of the most common modules, which is the Lightless Beacon. I don't want to give too much away. You're at this lighthouse on this island. Some stuff goes down, and right at the end, you kind of get overrun by these Lovecraftian Cthulhu creatures. You think to D&D, and it's we'll just swing at them. We'll cast some spells. If one of us goes down, we'll heal. We actually had to kind of strategize
and figure out how we're going to get out of that situation.
You take a hit, you take one good hit, you're going down, and you fail one Constitution roll, you're dead. So we actually it forced us to not be so gung-ho that we just charged in and swang at everything that came up the stairs. We actually had to plan and strategize on how we were going to survive.
It's kind of wild. If you've seen that already, I'm not sure if we're going to actually put it within this and just have this as a commentary, or whether we're going to have it as a bonus episode too. We'll figure that out down the track. You'll find out. You'll know if you know. But when we get to the part where we're up the stairs and we're fighting these monstrosities, abominations or whatever, we're not thinking about, we've got to kill all of them and then escape. We're well, shit, we're overrun. How are we going to get out? We couldn't go down out a rope or anything because we didn't have any. There was no emergency ladder outside of the lighthouse to climb down. The only way down was these narrow staircase, and I had a table that I was using at the time as cover. So we decided to pick up the table and use that to try and push an opening through, because it was at the time, I was like, well, this is a crazy idea, but it's literally the only thing I can think of right now. And it's
correct. And that's what I'm kind of getting at, is it's that creativity. It's the system is what encouraged us to kind of have to come up with those ideas.
And think outside of the box. Yeah,
it definitely, D&D combat can get very mind-numbing, because it kind of, you just fall into the same, I'm going to stab it, then I'm going to disengage and hide. Whereas Call of Cthulhu, there was no, none of us were sitting there during combat kind of, scrolling on our phones or, off with the fairies, because every single move that was being made, we had to be strategic and we had to think outside the box.
And I feel like it captures the tension better. I feel like that's what D&D struggles with, is maintaining tension.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. D&D, as we said about D&D, is, you can work as hard as you want at building tension and building a scene and being descriptive, and as soon as you roll initiative, all the pressure comes off. Because then the party knows that, oh, well, I'm going to sit here for 30 minutes while everyone else does their thing, so I'm just going to get on my phone and scroll. Whereas the simplistic nature of Call of Cthulhu combat is, it's like, what are you going to do? I'll stab it. All right, roll. Okay, cool. Next. Like, it's not, let me look in my spells. Let me do this. And because like, I've got 10 hit points, and if that thing hits me, I'm gone. You always got to be paying attention. So I 100% agree. I think we were all so zoned in, and it's happened every time I've played Call of Cthulhu, is the time flies by because you're having so much fun, because you're wholly invested in the game.
Yep.
And I think probably partly as well to do with that is, and I was going to talk about this later, is the sanity mechanic, which we can come back to. That's another great way that the game keeps people involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it helps you, I find it too, it does help you to roleplay, because you've got this sort of grounding in the mental state of your character, which is kind of wild. It's similar to Alien in a lot of ways, with its stress mechanic and its panic responses. There's actually a component, and this will definitely go over this more when we review Alien.
Can't wait for that, by the
You can
way.
have permanent mental health trauma that you can get rid of if you seek help, but you can actually get a more permanent trauma response. And I think that's really, really cool. It does preface as well that you should discuss that with your players before, because obviously that can be a trigger for some people, and that's very fair. But it does actually say in the book, if discuss with your players first if you want to run this or not.
Yep.
But Call of Cthulhu has similar sort of stressings, which makes it more interesting, gives you more role-playing sort of points to go off of.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think what I like about it too is the way that it's, I guess, done in. Again, we go back to D&D. It sounds like we're just talking shit about D&D now, but D&D is just like, all right, doesn't matter how much you get hit or how big you get hit, you just keep fighting until you hit 0 hit points. Call of Cthulhu, if you take like more than half your hit points in one hit, like, you're down.
Yeah.
Even if you've got 6 hit points left, you're unconscious and you get a wound. And then wounds are really bad. And the same with sanity mechanic. I think, if you lose more than 5 sanity points in one go, then you get basically a fear or a temporary insanity. And if you lose more than 1/5 of your sanity across one session or one story arc, you get a permanent, or not a permanent, but you get a longer form insanity that can only be treated by actually going and putting yourself in an asylum, basically.
So there's that similarity that
completely different to D&D in that, D&D is such a power fantasy thing that you can go into combat, get hit 1,000,000 times, and people just keep reviving you, take a long rest, shrug it off, and that's it.
And that's the thing. Now, this is where it gets a little challenging. We talked a lot of positives. We talked a lot of things like that. We're going to go over the negatives, and I feel like this section may be less than the positives. It may be more depending on the game. What's your negatives for it?
Again, we spoke about this. If you're someone that likes combat, you're not going to like this system. You're actively encouraged to avoid combat, and compared to the enemies, you're very underpowered. I think. God, it's tough. I don't have a lot of negatives.
I will say things like Call of Cthulhu and Alien, the time that they're not actually very new player friendly is when they are very specifically genred. So Call of Cthulhu is a cosmic horror,
Yes.
psychological game. Alien role-playing game is very much a horror, sci-fi horror game. If you're not a fan of those genres, or you want something that's more fantasy driven, like Lord of the Rings-esque, I'm going to call it,
Yeah.
you're going to be in for a little bit of a rough time if you're not a fan of the horror sort of element. Call of Cthulhu and Alien can really only be that.
Yeah. Unsettling. Or, horror, unsettling, psychological.
That's not a negative necessarily for me, because I love that. I love the vibe it has. I love that the way that the games and modules are set up are done specifically. So if you run it again, it's going to have a different result because your players interact with it differently, which I think is really, really cool with their one-shot systems, is that I can see how very different they can be. Whereas a lot of one-shots that are written for D&D are very one-dimensional. They have a point A to a point B, and you're going to get to do almost the same things each and every time. Whereas the endings for the cinematics in Alien and the one-shots in Call of Cthulhu can be quite different. Because they're relying on creativity and alternate methods to... But that's still a positive. The negative side, what I was trying to say is... D&D can always be more diverse in its genres than Call of Cthulhu or Alien can be, because Call of Cthulhu and Alien can only be a certain thing.
Yeah, so
I think that's where my negative would be.
Yeah, I don't think I was thinking of that as a
blame
negative.
it necessarily.
Well, I don't think I was thinking of that as a negative because, maybe it's just because I'm experienced with TTRPGs, is if you're going to play Call of Cthulhu, you kind of know what you're going into.
Yeah, correct.
Everyone knows, Lovecraft, the Cthulhu mythos, the psychological horror. Like, everyone, nearly, I'd venture to say 99% of the people on planet Earth know who H.P. Lovecraft is.
Correct. And and I agree. I do agree with that. I can't blame Call of Cthulhu for being Call of Cthulhu. No. That's exactly what it is.
But you're correct in that it is it can only be one thing.
Yeah.
Like, you really can't make it into like a campy...
And it's hard to give negatives to a game that's actually done so well. And again, even though I can count it as a negative for the section of it being a negative, I will not blame something for being what it is.
No.
It's like if Alien RPG turns out to be like My Little Pony, then I'd have a complaint.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's not going to be the setting unless something rips out of their chest. But that's...
Yeah. I think, look... But... I'm racking my brain trying to think of something mechanically that I could consider a negative. The dice use can be weird until you figure it out. Some items you use in combat have a damage dice of a D3, which is just a D6 halved. Like, I think that is a little weird. Like, I'm not sure where that design decision came from. That'd be the only negative thing I could say.
Yeah.
Is that, you roll a D100, like maybe the success, hard success, and extreme success system might be a little complicated at first. But when, say, you hit something with a club and then it's like, okay, you do a D3 damage. It's like, just say, you can't really say D6 half because it's weird, but where did D3 come? Like, the fact that that's the only thing that I can point out as a negative kind of probably tells you all you need to know about my thoughts on the system.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm nitpicking down to that point, I think the system is pretty much perfect.
So I think that's how we'll review things. It's like we will have a segment where we talk about the negatives and force ourselves to find something that could have been done better. But obviously, this was a struggle for us. Even when I was saying a negative, it's not a full negative because that is what it's meant to be. That's the target audience it's designed for.
Yep.
And I can't blame something for targeting a particular audience because that's exactly... I'm glad it's there. Like,
that's
we want it to be there.
And it's the same with Alien, right? If you told me, if I was to never play TTRPGs, I rock up and you go, oh, this is Alien RPG. It's based on the Alien, the film from Ridley Scott, the Alien film from Ridley Scott. Then I kind of know what to expect. Like, I know that is a sci-fi horror set in space that involves a little bit of body horror. So you kind of know what you're getting going into it. So you can't blame a game for being what it is.
Now, our section is, but before we do give it a rating out of 5 stars, there is a couple of things we want to mention and give shout-outs to. And firstly, we were able to do Call of Cthulhu on Sunday at Citizen Cambridge out in Berrima. We were allowed to use the space, which was really, really cool.
Great space.
We did it in the cell. It had very much that sort of Lovecraftian vibes to it. But of course, we couldn't have done it without Hilton allowing us use
the space after hours on a Sunday.
Huge shout out.
Hugely grateful for that. Something about surely, we could have done it here around your table, but it's just something about Call of Cthulhu in an actual dungeon, dank, dimly lit. It just works.
It can't be beaten.
So Citizen Cambridge and Hilton especially definitely shout out for allowing us to do that and providing us with that space. And providing us with that space every second Thursday when we run our D&D and teach our
Yeah, correct. And go pay them a visit. They're open Wednesday through Sunday for all-day breakfast, all-day lunch. Friday, Saturday, they're also open for dinner service. If you have a birthday or event that you want to run, give him a call as well. You can find his details by online. His link is in our link tree. Again, which I always post with our episodes here on YouTube and on various podcasting platforms. You'll be able to find our link tree. Or you can go to dungeonmasterityourself.com.au and then hit learn more.
Correct.
But the food's great, the atmosphere's great. Hilton's a very generous person, so talk to him about any potential events like birthdays, weddings, whatnot. And if you want to join in on the fun on every second Thursday, all that information is up on our socials and on Linktree as well. So go check them out. The other person that we haven't got our display here normally, but we also want to mention it because I've got some pretty good loot from him. A lot of other players have got some pretty cool loot from him for the door prizes and whatnot, which is really sick. But Chris at the Infernal Printer has done some amazing work with his dice towers, dice tomes.
Yeah.
And also, if you use DMIY10, that's DMIY10.
Oh, it's been so long since we've talked about the code. All capitals, DMIY10.
Correct. You'll get 10% off.
Anything on the website.
Yeah.
That's anything. That could be dice towers, tomes, that could be the mugs, anything.
And that helps us out. That helps you out as well, because who doesn't like a little bit of a discount on their stuff? So go pay the shop a visit. Again, links in our link tree. Type in that code. Get yourself 10% off.
Give the code to everyone. Use it yourself. Give it to your friends. Give it to your parents.
Give it to your dog.
Give it to your grandparents. Do whatever you want.
Exactly.
But
give it to your cat and train them how to use technology and buy stuff. So do that as well if you want.
Definitely. There's some great stuff. I know that we've given away some great stuff from Infernal Printer as door prizes, and people have absolutely loved it. Good quality, high quality print. I
use my tankard all the time as well. It's currently sitting on the desk. I'll go and grab it, but it's all the way over there. But it's a tankard. Roll dice down it all the time, and I use it pretty much every session that I run here.
Correct.
And now back to what we were talking about, which is
our regular scheduled programming. Yeah, rating.
What would you give it out of 5?
All right. There's a reason Call of Cthulhu has been around for like 45 years, right? Is that it works. It's a great system. It's niche, yes. And as we said, it's not for everyone. The actual like what would you say, like content can get heavy and it might be offsetting, but if you know what you're going into and you're a fan of that more gritty, less hero fantasy style game, it's a 5 out of 5. I'd hazard to say I'll drop it to like a 4.75. Purely just because it won't cater to everyone, but it doesn't have to. You know, if you know what you're getting into, it's great. You know, if you're a fan of Cthulhu or Lovecraft, it's great. Personally, for myself, 5 out of 5. I have no notes. You know, the only thing I could complain about was the D3, which is a D6 halved, which is so simple, and that's all I had to complain about.
Yeah. I think it's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic system. I would give it, I'll probably give it 4.7. The reason I'll give it 4.7 and it drops that 0.3 is only because there are some dice that, do they need it to be that way? Probably not. The D100 system's great. Damage dice is pretty self-explanatory, but I don't think it needs too many other dice and D100s in the long run of things. And that's the only thing I could probably fault it on. Things like Alien is only D6s. And even when it comes to damage, there's like things do a set amount of damage. So that gets away with the simplicity, I think. So I don't think Call of Cthulhu needs anything other than the D100s, in my personal opinion, which is the only reason why it's dropped 0.3. But the fact that it's only 0.3 that it dropped is nothing in the long term.
If our biggest complaints, if our biggest complaints are the dice, like that's chump change, right? The system itself just works. And again, beginner friendly, simplistic. Like you don't have a million, choices to make. It's snappy. It keeps your attention. It's tense. And as you said, there's opportunity for so many different things to happen. If the only thing we're complaining about is the dice, it's a winner. It's a winner.
So look, the best way really is to go see it for yourself. Go play, go find out where it's run. Come to us. We often have it running on TTRPG nights. Or hit us up, and if you want to do like a private game, we can organise something like that as well.
I mean, you can even get free. If you go onto the Chaosium website, you can even get free. You can get a free little starter kind of rule thing. It's like a little 50-page thing. Don't have to pay for it. Gives you the basic rules and a little one-shot. So you don't have to spend any money on it either. So,
I mean, that's fantastic.
Easy to get into. But definitely come do a TTRPG night with us, because then you'll get Gary, who's just an absolutely great keeper of arcane lore. That's the full title. Great keeper, great prop use. But yeah, definitely, if you're interested at all, give it a go, and you won't regret it.
No, not at all. Anyway, that is enough of our divergency for one night.
Chitter chatter.
We're going to have a few more beers and play some D&D, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers.
Au revoir.
Basically, it's used in combat if you're trying to push something. It's a measure of the difference between two people or two things. So
like size-based.
Size-based, yeah.
Okay.
So you can.
It's like your physical build.
Yeah. So if you're trying to grapple someone physically or push them out a window, you can make a. The difference between your build is a penalty dice or a bonus die, up to a maximum of 2. If you get over, gets to the stage where if somebody's more than 2.
2 4 of a ducky.
2 build. 2 points of build above you, you can't really. They're too big for you to push out the way.
Yeah, righto. Yep.
Alright, for those of us just tuning back in, unfortunately we've had issues with recording. This is our very first one, so we're going to do a bit of a review, and I'll try and capture some footage with this now, so we've at least got something to show for it all. But we're actually playing with Gary as our keeper. We're playing Call of Cthulhu, and we've got Alex playing Austin, Tom playing Felipe. I'm playing Danny Sanders, a federal agent, and we've got Moose
G'day.
Moose. Just moose. Just moose.
Just moose. You are now moose.
We're passing around one of the lapel microphones as we talk, so try and capture as many as possible.
Okay.
Where is it?
Okay.
Shot the fishman's head off.
So yes, so you took a shot over the top of the table, straight point blank range into the fishman's head, and yeah, he just sort of crumples with a spew of green blood.
Ooh.
Lovely. So yeah, you can make a sanity roll.
Oh.
It's quite nasty.
Yeah,
So
green
you
blood.
don't really kill too much, do you?
No, that's probably the first time I've ever actually shot a gun.
Yeah,
Fired
fair.
a gun, yeah. 74. So that's a fail.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do that's a D3 of sanity.
I have to roll a 1 or 2.
Mhm.
If I roll anything higher than 2, I'm indefinite insane. That's a 4.
Yeah.
So I've now
Insanity.
lost 12 sanity points.
Okay,
Oofed.
so you've you just sort of stunned and shocked there and dropped the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And let's have a look. What can we do for you?
Do I need to roll any intelligence check or anything like that?
I no, not for that one because
Okay.
you've lost more sanity. So let's just see. Yeah, and just for a moment you're just wondering what the hell are you doing there, and you just sort of stunned, sat there or stood there, dropped whatever you were holding, and just think, oh God, what am I doing here? What the hell's going on? And you just see him freeze. He's just frozen there for a while.
And just crack shot, takes the head off a fishman, and then just goes.
Yeah. Hey. Okay.
No. He's just frozen on the
I
stairs.
think he's losing it, guys.
So the
You
one
can have your
that's-
existential crisis later. We gotta move.
So the one behind the that you're trying to push down just starts trying to push back up, but it's on his own now. So it's
Give it another push and try and send him down the stairs, I reckon.
Yeah, let's go push.
so yeah. So let's have a strength.
Corn. What was that like?
Did you succeed?
I did, I got a 6.
Nice.
I cannot see the rolls because unfortunately the lighting's terrible, but this one is actually
20.
pretty damn good. That is I was about to say it's almost like a crit success, but it wasn't. It is a hard success, however.
Mine was a full success.
Okay. So you give it an almighty sort of push, and this thing goes flying down the steps and tumbling head over heels. You hear a crack as its neck breaks going down.
Nice.
With those kind of rolls, it bounces into the other one that was just getting up, and then they end up in a heap at the bottom of that thing, and you can just see they're completely prone at the bottom of the steps.
Is that one that was further down the stairs moving still?
None of them are moving.
Okay, good.
Oh, good. Okay.
I reckon we horse mask down these stairs.
Yep.
I'm gonna grab Felipe and I'm just gonna kind of like stumbly drag him down the stairs with us.
I'm going to grab the gun that he dropped
Nice.
and just slide it back. I'll hold it for now. And the intention is to, as you guys sort of keep pushing forward, any of the fishmen on the ground, I'm just going to smack them with the hammer, make sure they're down.
Okay. Do that. You're pretty much unaware of what's going on. You're just being dragged, and you're going along with it because
Yeah.
you're not in any position to fight back or anything at the moment.
Felipe's gonna stab you with a poison.
Oh,
With a poison thing. That he pulled out. No, I'm kidding.
cannon, you said.
What the hell?
Could you imagine?
Yeah, bro. What the?
He's insane.
Yeah, that's
Do we
fair.
do PvP?
PvP?
Not yet.
PvP?
Because I'm like catatonic at this point. If I come back to consciousness a little bit, then I'm freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Stab. Anyway.
So so you get down to the bottom of the steps
Nice.
and manage to step over these what appear to be dead bodies.
Smack.
Is it the quickest way to the south side, is that the door through the kitchen, or is that the door straight ahead?
The door to the kitchen will take you out to the
Closer
to the south.
Okay, we're better off going out that door then. I'm kind of, while we're going through the kitchen, I kind of want to grab, like, if there's like a kitchen knife or like something just like lying around, like very quickly if I just see it, like from like a knife board or something.
Tea
Maybe.
towels for whipping.
Can you just spot hidden?
Yeah.
I had to do this to you guys too, just make sure that we're projecting
Yeah.
these lapels.
No. Okay. No, you don't notice any
Okay.
knives or anything.
No worries.
So okay, so you go out through the kitchen door and head down to the jetty at the south.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I think so. I think that's our best
Yep,
course.
I reckon we haul ass to the jetty.
Okay.
I agree.
The
Still dragging fucking Felipe with me. Dumbass.
okay, so there is a small rowboat that's moored down there.
And of course, he's the sailor.
To be fair, you don't need a sailor to operate a rowboat. Like, you gotta feel like we're intelligent enough.
How does
We
paddle
couldn't
work?
figure out how to put a light on for a while.
Yeah, that is correct.
Can you make another sanity roll, please?
Me?
Yep.
Oh, Lord. Weird.
Roll well.
48. 73.
Okay, you sort of come out of your catatonic state and realise that you are being dragged along. You're not sure why.
Dragged along.
Somebody's pulling you quite roughly along the road.
He's guiding me to it. Last thing I saw was Fishman.
We saw me, us in front of you, and then Fishman. Are you gonna try you actually?
You can make an intelligence roll to see if you realise what's going on.
Okay. Oh, I'm pretty intelligent actually. You might not get stabbed here.
I hope not.
90. Wait, is that? Oh, that's 9. Is it an 8 or a 9? Hold up.
8. Oh, you are lucky. That is my intelligence. 80.
Okay, so you sort of got an idea of what's going on.
Okay, you don't get stabbed.
So
Yes. Yet. I see you kind of clench forward and then you kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah.
and
You'd see he's holding one of those like barbs with like the black liquid on it in his hand.
and you get to the boat that's moored there. There are oars in there.
It's
How
still
many people does this rowboat fit? Would it fit 4?
It would fit 4, but it's still fairly rough out there.
yeah. It's still the storm is still raging. Like,
Yeah, it's not as bad as it was.
This boat is not going to be great.
Well,
but
what do we stay
it's
on the
better than
island?
nothing. Oh, no, it's better than nothing.
Like,
I mean, we could just hide.
You know what I just realised too? We just call for backup, which will inevitably turn up and they're going to get fucked over.
I mean, right now, are we to assume there's more fishmen on the island? Because all the 4 that were in the house are dead.
Yeah.
They're in the lighthouse are dead.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen any,
Okay.
but then you haven't really been looking.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just going to slap Felipe and give his gun back. Come on, man. Get out of it.
Yep. Get in. Let's. Fuck. It's going to be rough because it's storming.
Yep.
And this is a rowboat. Right. Get in.
Okay.
I'll pilot us.
Do a pilot roll.
Can I give him like the help action or something?
You could both. If you got a.
I don't have a like a ride or anything, but I wasn't sure if I could. It was
You
like
could-
a
I mean-
bonus.
That's a hard success. It's
Okay. Nice. Okay. You can do like a help where you all roll for the same skill, and if one of you succeeds,
Yeah, okay,
success
gotcha.
the whole lot.
okay.
So, I mean, you could have done it if you both on one or each. But if you've done a hard success, okay, you managed to row. As you're rowing across, the storm has abated quite a bit, and as you're rowing across, you notice that a large Coast Guard boat is heading towards it, towards the island, and a spotlight sort of picks you out, and it changes course and comes over.
Alright, we're going to like wave them over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you get picked up, and the Coast Guard Gregory is on board.
Oh my God,
Gregory!
And funny enough, his voice still sounds. No, it doesn't sound the same as it. He asks, "Are you the guys that called up from the island?"
Yes, I'm Danny Sanders,
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm going to show like the
Okay.
the badge that I have. I'm here with Austin, Philippe, and Moose.
Okay. Okay, so we did contact the bureau, and they told us to come out and pick you up, and then return with you, and there will be a bureau team that will be arriving to go and check out the island next day or so.
No,
Well, but you'll be able to talk to them when they arrive. So
I'll talk to them when they arrive. But there's monsters on that island.
yes, I'm sure there are.
Here comes the gaslighting. Felipe's just like, fishmen, yeah, there's fishmen. Fishmen.
Can you make a sanity roll?
This is almost too good.
44. So that's a success.
Nice.
Okay. So you managed to control yourself from standing up and shouting in the guy's face, "There are monsters!" So you managed to sort of.
Yeah, he's more so just like, there's fishmen. There is fishmen. There's fishmen.
So
There's fishmen.
he said, "Well, our orders are to take you back to the shore." So he turns the boat around once you're on board, and they take you back to Rockport.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Over the next day or so, there's some more bureau guys arrive, and you tell your story to them, and they formulate a plan for investigating and cleaning the island.
You still got the fucking bag of coins.
Yeah, you've still got the bag of coins.
I would recommend military as well. I feel like it's a bit.
Take off
Grand,
and place from
yeah.
orbit.
They seem they believe every word you say about them. And they seem to have plans in place for exactly they kind of to send in the military and whatever. So.
And I also present like the notebook and the badge of the fellow investigator,
okay.
and
Yep.
said that he died in line of duty.
Okay, yeah, and they take that, and yeah, so he's given a commendation, and yep, and that's really it. That's the end of the.
Hey, round of
applause.
Woo!
And you can go up to an asylum for some therapy.
Stuff like that. Awesome.
Is that the same one that we did that Sydney one shot out of?
So the one shot I did was one I wrote, but a lot of stuff is based on things from there.
All right.
So
that was a homebrew of yours. That was a lot of fun. That
you
one.
enjoyed that one. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to get it to state right.
Well, this one was a homebrew.
No.
No, the one that I previously played in.
Yeah, it was based in Sydney in the rocks.
Oh yeah.
In the 20s with the razor gangs and stuff.
Try and get it published.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get it onto drive-through. It's just the formatting is
That's
the
awesome.
pain.
Well, this is huge. Let's do a little post review on all of this. Just as I said, like we've just played Call of Cthulhu, and the name of this one was the Light
Light this beacon.
This Beacon.
Lightless beacon.
Lightless beacon.
Lightless Beacon. There we go. I think the person that started off would be Gary. What were your thoughts on how it ran, and how did we doing it? Some of us have very varying levels of experience, usually on the little experience front.
Oh, it was good. I've run this one 3 times now. I think the others, at least one person's died. You guys managed to survive it, although one of you was completely insane by the end. Which was good. It was great fun. It was really good. Characterizations were brilliant. It was sitting back and listening to you guys talk to each other about what you were going to do was really good fun. It's a great adventure. It's a classic Call of Cthulhu one, as they say, and it's actually one of the free ones that they released quite a while back. So it's downloadable from the Chaos Inn website. Set on an island with a lighthouse whose light has gone out, and I won't say any more. Just don't want to spoil it for anyone else that wants to play it. But it's a good one, and it's a great one to start people that haven't played before, because it's got a lot of it's got little bits of mythos, but it's got combat, it's got a little bit of investigation, nice bit of sanity loss. So I think it's a good one to sort of cover a lot of the rules. Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
That was a lot of good fun. We'll go around. What did you think, Chris?
That was great. First time I played it. Yeah, that was great fun. Played a little bit of D&D and stuff, and this is definitely similar. But there's a lot more intrigue and like investigations versus combat. Pretty useless as a combat sort of people in this. It was good fun. I had a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. I actually really like the role playing aspect to it as well, which I think is really, really cool. It's makes you get into the characters and like knowing what your personal sort of objectives are, and you get the feel for that occupation that you're in as well, which I think is really cool. So I think it's quite unique.
Yeah, I like it. I think it has a completely different experience to D&D. D&D is hero fantasy, so it's all about getting as powerful as you can and fighting the bad guys and slaying the demons. Whereas this one, the risk of death and bad stuff happening is very high. So you have to kind of pick your actions more carefully. And I also like the sanity mechanic. It's my third time playing Call of Cthulhu, and I think every time I've played, I've been the one at the table to lose the most sanity. But no, I love it. It's such a good experience. The D100 system, I think, is really interesting, and it's just nice to do something different.
Yeah, it's my second time playing Call of Cthulhu. I played a couple months ago. And yeah, I like how different it is from D&D, yet it's still a TTRPG. It plays semi-similar to like Aliens with like the stress mechanic and sanity, and it brings a real like threat. Like, there's actual consequences for what you are doing and what you're not doing, which I really, really enjoy. I also think Call of Cthulhu is a really, really good way for people to get into role playing if they struggle with role playing, because it's very, very, as much as it's like with all the numbers on the sheet, I actually think it's easier to play than D&D, because you don't have this insane set of abilities. Like, you're just a regular dude that might be like a journalist or a mechanic or something.
You're not looking through spells,
Yeah.
your action, bonus action, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I had a blast playing it today. It was really, really good.
Thanks. Yeah, I think what you're saying about, you're not heroes, you're the everyman trying to defeat or find out what's going on against evil cosmic forces, makes it a bit different. You're not the heroes. And it's just, I'm pretty good at changing a light bulb. Maybe that will help with what I'm doing here, kind of stuff. So.
I think we jumped in with the role play pretty cool too.
Yeah.
That was good fun.
Yeah,
Always like
exactly.
bouncing off each
I was
other.
about to say, I like that we committed into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was kind of hoping I would start the train, and I did.
Look, the pre-gen characters make that really, really easy, because like I don't know if show you this. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. But there's it actually tells you about your character, what their objectives are, why they are there, and it gives you like a starting point on how you can role play into it. So I think that's really, really crystal clear. So I like how it's set up. It's got at the back of it actually give you some stuff you can write down, like personal description, traits. You can write down significant people. So you can actually take note taking really easily too. So it does give you that option to just like write down a piece of paper as for note taking. So
Yeah, and as you can imagine, if you're playing
very
a
intuitive.
campaign, if you're playing a campaign with those backstories and stuff, they evolve over time as well, which is good fun. If you survive.
I think it's good. I think if you're the type of person that really wants to like be the hero and like to kill as many things and like get on the combat and try and go that way, you're gonna have a hard time with something like Call of Cthulhu because it doesn't make it easy necessarily for the person to go across these like cosmic entities and go, okay, well, I'm going to come out on top. You're most likely going to die. But I think if you're able to sort of take a step back from that and be the everyday person, you're going to have a great time. I think it's that's a really good way to see it. So I actually really like it. I really like the grittiness of it.
I enjoy that like D&D is a very, very like light-hearted TTRPG. That you can kind of just jump in and play and not have to really stress about the effects, where like Call of Cthulhu has this really like dark, sinister like theme just over the couple times that I've played, which is what I enjoy the most, is that it's you know that you're going into something, but it's always, I like this like the culty, dark, sinister side of things.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what I like the most about it is, and this has happened in all three now that I've played, is as they start off so innocuous. It's like you're just going to this island to see what's going on. The last one was you're a bunch of gangsters and you just got to go and find this guy and figure out why he stole a bunch of stuff. And then by the end of it, you're seeing a god from the outer realms going insane. People are like, it's and just watching it snowball and just become unsettling, slowly more unsettling, and then you finally drop the bomb. Yeah. I love it. It's just like a movie. It's just like it's like you're playing in a movie.
Yeah, that's good. No, I enjoy. I mean, that side of it as well. Sort of trying to get the atmosphere. I tend to be a bit prop heavy, and I really enjoy doing the props and stuff.
Props were great.
And I think
Props were good. There was notebooks. There was maps. There was letters. There
it
was.
sort of adds to the atmosphere. It makes it easier to get into that, into the role playing stuff. So, yeah.
This is a terrible focus on the camera.